clicketed. That's the official term for that. Is clicketed. Let's remember this is a family show, Mr. Man. Hey everybody, look, it's Jerry. My old buddy Jerry.
Where?
Good gosh. Good gosh. And just 7 days. We're going to be going live here in just about 1 or 2 minutes, give or take. We're not too particular around these parts. Look at Jerry building stuff. If we're lucky, cross your fingers, boys and girls. Let's hope he glues his fingers together. That's that is so Jerry. Oh, you remember the old glued the fingers together gag? We are going live fairly soon. Let me see if I have any sort of audio at all. Look at that, Jerry. Test, test, test. Test, test, test. I'm not sure I have audio. Test, test, test. Test, test, test. Shows an audio there. Showing audio there. Showing audio there. Audio is good, it says. Huh. How come my little... Oh, there we go. There it was. Yeah, there it was. Okay. Apparently, I don't know how to work my apparatus. Oh, these kids and their strange apparatus these days. So, Jerry's working on the shotgun house, which, of course, we now do not have in stock. Because it's open and he's working on it. So don't come around here looking for your shotgun house, Mr. Man. We'll have one of these back in pretty quick, though. Very cool little model. Jerry, what do you think about this one?
It's got some nice little details on the porch and the windows.
Mm-hmm. The porch. Let's see if we can show the boys and girls at home. Look at those. Look at that little the porch pieces there. Cool little window pieces. Of course, the doors open and close. Yeah, looks like it's going to be a nice. You think it's a little bit easier than maybe some of the others? Is it like the last few that you've done?
The last one with all the actual plastic windows in between very fragile frames was kind of a pain. This is just thick frames and no windows, which is much easier.
Yep. Okay, very cool. So Jerry does a lot of my buildings for me, and I don't even charge him. So, that's good on me for being the good friend that I am and allowing him to come over and use his own glue to put my buildings together, and out of the goodness of my heart. And then a lot of people say
he's a saint.
He's a saint. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say I'm a saint. I think that is for others to decide. Perhaps the Vatican. What else are we working on? Have you guys seen my aeroplane? I'm getting my aeroplane. Well, I also did this today, and for those of you that wondering about your storage and how to store your stuff, this is something I put together today. A wheeled cart and wheeled kind of like utility cart thing. And this is what we use for a lot of our terrain. I use it for a lot of our terrain. I also use it for just storage in general. Because a lot of our terrain I don't actually store in this area. I store in other rooms. And then when I want my jungle terrain, I go get the jungle cart, or if I want the the city terrain, I go get the city cart, and yada yada. And then that way, it's easy for me to kind of push everything up against each other and store it that way. Let me see if there's anybody on here today. Let's do some shout outs. Jerry, say hi to Marty.
Hi, Marty.
Say hi to Hugh.
Hi, Hugh.
Say hi to Henry.
Hi, Henry.
Say hi to Michael.
Hi, Michael.
Marty Devine. Foreground buildings. I learned to. Here's a tip from Marty Devine. You learn to glue one side of the frame in first, then cut out the acetate. Oh, interesting. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. See that? Oh, Mr. Shanks is on here. Hello, Lord Grumpus. Thank you for jumping on here with us today. Jerry's hard at work building stuff. Let me show you my little airplane that I've been working on. Hopefully Bessie doesn't jump on here because she's been telling me that the last thing I need to be starting is another model. So compared to all of the other projects and things that I have to get done, she's like, that's the last thing you need to be working on. Here is a picture. Here is a picture of the last thing I should be working on. It's my lovely little GB. Look how cool this is. And this has a little canopy here. It has the nose piece. This is the nose piece that goes on there with a propeller. This is a Dora Wings model, a model by Dora Wings. And to be quite honest with you, I wouldn't say that they are very good. I would maybe put them, I don't know where they'd fall in the range of models, but they're certainly not a Tamiya. They're not even a Hasegawa. They're maybe like a poorly designed Revell or something like that. What's another one? Monogram or something? AMT, yeah. So don't get one of these Dora Wings thinking it's going to be a great kit, because they ain't. But what they do have is a really cool selection of intra-war planes. So this is a completely fictitious plane. They never mounted machine guns on a GB. Not that I'm aware anyway. I don't think that they were silly enough. It really was not designed for that at all. So kind of a silly notion. But in the world of fantasy, in the world of fiction, heck yeah. So I'm thinking it's probably going to be like Phantom Ace's personal plane. He has several planes, but I think this will be one of his planes that he flies around quite a bit. It's his little GB, the Phantom GB. Very cool. So there's a little bottom part that fits on. And you guys know that I do like little round plastic pieces for the propeller, so I won't actually have a propeller on there. But I still haven't mounted the engine and still haven't painted it, so still more to do on that part. I don't know if you guys have seen these models, but I want to show you a cute little model series by Ming is the model company. And you guys might also be aware of these already, but they're pretty cool. Tune tanks, I think, is what they call them. See if I can get a good, decent picture of this thing. Is that it? Is that it there? Okay. Look at that. Isn't that adorable? An old French World War II tank, but my gosh, that like on dimensions and everything. You look at that and you go, oh, well, we could throw that into the 40K world or something. That could be an Imperial Guard tank running around out there or something like that. We may use it for some mad scientist in a Pulp Alley game. So That's another cool tank that Jerry put that together. These are pretty simple. These are pretty easy to put together. They have nice big parts. I'll show you a box that hasn't been opened yet. And they have interesting dimensions. You know, I call them chibi tanks because they kind of have that sort of big head. That's not going to work. I'll show you on this one here. The box covers have changed over the years, though. This is a fairly early box. Look at this, $8. $8 for this. I think they're now about $13 or so, and you know. But my gosh, these would be great for gaming. Relatively sturdy models, and you know, I think they're pretty pretty cool looking. All right. What else do we have to work on today? We might work on, let me show you this other thing. How many of you out there are familiar with the old SF3D stuff? The old SF3D model kits. The newer stuff is called this Machine Krieger stuff. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. This is a 1/35th scale, but I think for a battle suit, that's going to work pretty nice. And let me show you what 1/35th scale in those look like. How many of you used to collect these or still do collect them? The old SF3D, we called these the egghead battle suits. Some of you probably know why. But that's 1/35th scale. And you know what? For a cool, and we've played some Pulp Alley games with these too. These are pretty cool little models. I really like the way they're designed. They have such a retro feel to them. But I think I could imagine like a Pulp Alley scale character, you know, sitting in one of those also. You know, not filling out the whole suit, but just sitting up in the cockpit sort of area. I think that would be kind of fun. I don't know if I can get you a better shot of that, but there you go. Something like that maybe. Could be cool. Could be cool for a battle suit. Anyway, just a few fun things that we've been working on today. What projects have you guys got going on? Leave me some chatter. Let me see. I have to go to the other computer to actually look and see what comments we have. Let's see. Hugh is on here. Ryan Scott. Thank you for jumping on here, Ryan. Vaughn B, the wild man, the Phantom Bee. That's the name right there, Vaughn. Very cool. Very cool. Hey, Sean Peck. How are you doing, sir? Thank you for jumping on here. Now, this is actually my third GB that I purchased. And the first two I was not happy with. Let me show you why. I'm gonna get the models and I'll show you. It's because they had the paint lines. It's because they had the paint lines molded into the plastic. And I didn't want to paint them the way they had them designed, you know. I don't know if there's any way that I can actually show this to you. Let me see if I can get that to show up on screen. Anyway, you guys probably, if you're modelers, you probably know what I mean. And this is an old tester's kit, but it has the paint lines actually molded into the plastic. So it shows you where you're supposed to paint. It even has the numbers on there molded into the plastic. So you can paint the numbers on and things like that, which is really cool if you want to do that paint job. But I don't want to do that paint job. So I'm stuck with either trying to cover it up and mask it, or trying to hide it, or trying to sand those mold lines down, which none of those really felt like they were a good solution. So the second one I got, hoping this one still has the mold lines molded into it, the paint lines. So both of those, I'll probably end up using them, but I just wasn't as happy with them as this other GB that I found. Has anybody got any modeling projects that they're working on? I've almost run out, or Jerry's almost run me out of models, unbuilt models. He comes over and builds something so often that now I don't know what I'm going to get next. So I need some suggestions, boys and girls. I need some suggestions from you. Tomb of the Serpent campaign on Saturday. 3 games on Saturday afternoon. Very cool. Working on a Dust Spetsnaz in Vander. Very cool. Style building for the, so, oh, very cool. That was going to be neat. Using cork. Very cool. Very cool. All right. Well, I really appreciate y'all jumping on here. Isn't it great to see Jerry at work? Maybe I should just leave this. Maybe I should just leave the camera here on Jerry, so we have a video recording of his hard work, slaving away. Look at him gluing his fingers. You can tell he's about to glue his fingers together. Oh, if only, don't you think you should use super glue for that, Jerry? Don't you think super glue would work so much better?
Super glue and Q-tips.
And Q-tips. Yeah. That's the ticket. All right, we're gonna call that good. Jerry, tell the boys and girls goodbye.
Bye. Have fun.
All right. Thank you guys so much for jumping on here. Don't forget that we're going to be on here tonight at 8 o'clock with Bessie and myself. And we'll be talking about the Kickstarter. We'll be talking about some other updates, and we'll talk to you then. Bye, everybody. Cue the music and roll the credits. Dun 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 dun.